traveling to Turkey, I now realize how much of communication actually just comes down to non-verbal cues. I don't think we realize this very much in ordinary life, mainly because a lot of people don't really prioritize communication in general. There tends to be a de-emphasis on something very, very important, very human. And I've spent a lifetime being very curious about how to communicate with people. Obviously, sometimes I'm not looking in the camera, right in the camera, because I'm looking around, I'm trying to walk around, but you better know that if I'm talking to someone, I don't care if they speak my language, if they're deaf, if they're blind, I'm going to be using hand motions, I'm going to be using enunciation, I'm going to be using any tool in my belt to communicate with people, because frankly speaking, we're all going through the same thing. Just because we speak a different language doesn't mean we don't experience the same emotions. It does not mean that we don't experience the same awkwardness. And I think I've been watching a lot of Ask Vin, which is a man that has spent his life trying to teach people about communication. And I've been thinking a lot about communication because I think it's incredibly important. Some of the wisest people in society say that our level of communication essentially determines the level of career success we have. And it comes down to that because it's a human thing. The best business people in the world, the people that you're going to see time and time again, the people that sell you on buying a carpet or sell you on buying anything in life are really, really good communicators. And so they know these little skills that people are looking for. They know how to make people comfortable. What body language makes someone at peace versus when someone is looking at you weird, when someone is walking a certain way, how to perceive these people. And you might think to yourself, well, Rob, just sounds like you're judging people. This just sounds like, well, how are you supposed to know if your judgments are accurate, this and that? Well, it's trial and error, right? There's and as an example for the thing that I'm talking about, there's an entire field, communication in college, that exists because so many people don't know how to do this stuff. So let me give you some tips. Eye contact, very important. If you're talking to a kid, if you're talking to an adult, it does not matter. No, it does not matter. At the end of the day, when you make eye contact, you are going to be in a better position than if you did not. And the reason is because people want to be looked at. In fact, there is a correlation between the amount of eye contact that you get and how much depression you face during a given day. The difference between walking down the street or walking down a hallway and not making eye contact with the people that are coming the opposite direction, it could be life and death. And I don't say this lightly, I say this very, very seriously. When it comes down to it, if we don't show people that we acknowledge their existence by looking them in the eyes, by looking them and acknowledging what they're wearing or how they're acting or whether or not they're smiling or being sad, if we don't acknowledge these things, well, we're really not making too big of an impact on the daily, on people's lives, on the things people believe. So if you want to make an impact in people's lives, if you want to have your opinion matter to potentially the people you love and even strangers, communication skills are going to be incredibly important. The ability to convey to someone that doesn't speak your language, hey, I'm confused. Hey, wait a second. Hey, I need some help. You know, you can use body language to do these things. You can use hand motions, you can use enunciation. And now there's crazy tools. So I've been in a lot of taxis in Turkey, and these taxi drivers have these phenomenal apps on their phone where they're going to speak into the app. And I might sound a little old-fashioned here, but they could speak into the app and I'll translate it into English. And then I could speak into the app and I'll translate it into Turkish or whatever language people are speaking. And it makes a drastic difference to the point where, you know, I don't know if they're trying to get money out of me, I don't know, whatever, but I can tell there's a genuine connection there. When I go forth and say to them, hey, listen, you don't have to drive a taxi here, right? You have the ability to move. You can change things around you. It's just a matter of taking advantage of communication. The ability to move forward. The ability to say, hey, I have things to learn. I have things to do in life. And my communication, the ability to say what I need to say, to make someone feel the way that I need them to feel, is going to open a lot of doors for us. Plenty of doors. And I can say this from personal experience. I've been told many times in my life that I'm very good at making friends. Why? Because I listen. Because I make eye contact. Because I try to put a little humor in it. Because I realize everyone's human. Everyone is human. At the end of the day, when we realize this, at the beginning of the day when we realize this, in the middle of the day when we realize this, we make more friends, we make more connections, and we are happier. We are happier in life. Because people understand where we're coming from. The other thing is we're super unique, right? So I've put this in the context of how to please other people. The reality is when we know how to communicate, we also please ourselves. We know how to make others understand where we're coming from. We know how to make others understand what our souls are like, how we want to be treated, right? Like so many relationships fall apart because people aren't able to put out just in plain words how they want to be treated, what they're expecting from someone else. If we can't do that, Lord knows where we're going to be in life. Even though I'm a religious person, I should probably start saying Lord, right? You know, I've been in Ohio for a little while now, and I realize whenever I say "Oh God" as a joke, or if I say "Goodness me" or Jesus, it doesn't come off as like right. It doesn't come off as the way that I want it to, and so that's something I have to change. And that ability to understand that people don't want to feel this way, that ability to understand that there are certain things we can say and certain things we shouldn't say, or how to stand out in a room but not to make everyone else feel awkward, how to break the ice. These are all communication skills, which can take a lifetime to master, and frankly, all of business is built off of it, like I just reiterated 1,000 times. But when you go to a different place, when you go to a different country, when you go to a place where people do not speak your language, do not be afraid. There are many ways to communicate. And the fact of the matter is, if we can realize what we're trying to do, setting a goal, as per usual, in mind, and having a good attitude, we can get anywhere in life. That's my genuine belief. You can get anywhere in life with a good attitude and the ability to communicate. So go forth and master these skills and realize that I'm still learning this stuff, right? We're all still learning this stuff. And every culture has its little quirks and it has its little differences, sure. But the ability to walk in a straight line, to be aware of other people's presence, to not speak too loudly, to watch what we're wearing, right? These are all things that are accrued over time. And you can see this on college campuses too, where people are walking around in their PJs, and they're walking around with a cigarette in their hand, whatever it is. Your perception, the way that people perceive you, is going to always be based on, first and foremost, the things that you present. Perception, presentation, same stuff. So be very careful what words you use, how loud you speak, what you're wearing, how you present yourself, your posture, right? If you show up to a meeting and you have crap posture, what are you gonna do? You're not gonna really think you're all that solid, all that confident about your life. Little things make a big difference. I'd be curious, what are some things that you wish you knew when you were younger in terms of your communication skills? Obviously these videos for the most part are off the cuff, so I can discuss only so much as I am currently aware of. But I'm trying to think, what was a major communication issue that I used to have when I was younger? I used to be taken for granted. A lot. And that type of communication is actually a little bit deeper. That type of communication requires more of a subconscious, almost a propaganda approach. It comes to what we're doing and whether or not people are aware of the things that we're doing. The way that we use our words, the way that we present the activities that we're doing, right? If we're kind of lazily presenting things versus being excited, being courageous about the way that we're presenting things, it's going to come off a lot differently. It's going to be a drastic difference in terms of people's respect levels for what you're doing. Because if you're not excited for what you're doing, how can someone else be excited? So, I hope you found this interesting. Smash that like button. It helps me out a lot. I'll be here in Turkey for a little while, and I won't be showing my face for the next couple videos. and hopefully I'll have a chance to explain. But subscribe, comment, helps me out a lot. And watch this video while you're at it. It'll inspire you a little bit further to communicate a little bit deeper with the people that you love and potentially strangers in life. Makes a drastic difference. Actualize your potential, my friends. The world needs you. Take care.